The stars were so pretty. And as I understand it, there's a meteor shower going on through a lot of November. I think it peaks in a few days, but it's like pre-dawn hours. I should spend a little more time out there when I go out with her. We have a lot of street lights. So. We're gonna first of all, welcome to the first Monday morning 7 a.m. Regular class. I'm going to do Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. for the month of November, and then probably start working in a lunchtime Wednesday class that I'll give you more detail about, or you'll hear through Jarrett what that will entail. Just a 30 minutes stretch and take a break from sitting at the desk, being on Zoom a lot, and maybe a little meditation. But today I'm going to continue with some back focus. We did this on Friday, and I think I'll weave in one of the other flows that we didn't get to on Friday. So let's come to the back. Starting out with knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Walk your feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees come together. Now lift one shoulder, tuck the shoulder blade, lift the other shoulder, tuck the shoulder blade. Palms face up, and just feel this nice shape. And then take a nice deep breath, let the belly expand. And feel as if you're sending that breath right down to your tailbone. Coming in through the nose and traveling along the pathway of the spinal column of the vertebrae. And as you exhale, it takes that same path. I'll take about 3 more breaths here. Try to visualize the breath touching each one of the vertebrae and relaxing each place. Now heel toe the feet in front of the hips, and the knees will be hip distance apart as well. And bring your hands to your hips, to your pelvis. And as you inhale, lift the low back. This is an anterior tilt of your pelvis, and really lift it. See how far you can kind of scrub your tailbone on the mat. And then as you exhale, we're going to flatten the low back. You can even press into the feet to help really flatten the low back. As the inhale begins, take that full unhurried inhale and slowly tilt the pelvis so you lift the low back. And you may even get some lift in some of the rib cage spine too, the thoracic spine. And then as you exhale, press, flatten. Take 3 more breaths like this, pelvic tilting, inhaling. So you could run your hand under your back. And exhale, flatten the back. 2 more for me. Last one. And just release that movement pattern. Breathe. And see where the spine just settles. Now extend your left leg long and draw your right knee in. The left leg will be active, the foot's flexed. Draw that right knee up towards the armpit. Do a little movement here. Maybe circle through the right ankle. Maybe it feels good in your body to get a little hamstring stretch on that side, lacing the fingers behind the leg, push through the heel, straighten the leg, and keep moving through the hip. And now we'll switch sides. Keeping the right leg active, flex the foot. Bring awareness to the left hip, left ankle, maybe even left hamstring, and waken things up. And now place both legs down on the mat. Bring your hands to prayer in front of the heart. Flip the palms, so you're lacing the fingers. Good morning stretch, reaching overhead. And let's hike one hip up and extend the other leg long. We're tucking the hips as we reach through the wrists, through the arms. And as you exhale, draw both knees in. And again, awareness in the hip sockets. And we'll slowly come into a happy baby in kind of a 3-stage path. I'm going to take my hands behind my knees and draw my knees down, flex through the feet. And maybe slide my hands to my shins, draw the knees a little deeper. And then maybe even taking the hands to the soles of the feet. And as you pull down on the soles of the feet, I like to take my grip from the inside of the foot, draping my fingers over the pinky toe edge of your foot. And that way I can use my hand to turn the toes outward. Now let's move with this happy baby, but move a lot with the happy baby. Instead of just side to side, you can kind of rock a bit, massaging the back, waking up the back. And then come to stillness and breathe. Visualizing the breath still traveling up and down the spine. Two more breaths this way. Now bring the soles of the feet together. Take the ankles, pull the ankles toward the navel. Use your forearms to open the knees, a flying Baddha Konasana. And let's kind of rock a little bit on the sacrum. Maybe do some circling. One way along the low back and then the other way. And draw both knees in now. Take the hands behind the knees. We're going to rock and roll for a bit, up and down the length of the spine, but usually when we do that, it's right on the spine. This time I want you to bring some focus to the muscles right next to the spine on the left and right, and trying to use this movement to massage. I'll do two more. And float the feet down to the mat. Boy, I walked a lot with that movement. And pause. And notice. Extend the legs long, flip the palms. Another good morning stretch. And some wiggling through the hips. So you lift one hip higher than the other. Push the other one down low and then top the other way. And now exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. Keep the left leg long and active. Flex the foot. We're going to take this into a twist. Draw the right knee across the body. Excuse me. And that right arm can go Out on the floor, if it's really hanging into space, you can shorten the lever and bring your hand to your rib, to your hip. Now let's deepen the stretch a bit. Take your left hand to the top of your rib cage, so the right side of the rib cage part that's up. Take the right hand to your right hip, and we're going to pull. The hip goes back, the ribs go forward. Deepening the twist in the low back, but it also brings some space back there. And release, unwind, come to the back. Pause to feel and compare left and right sides. And draw the left knee in. And come into a twist, drawing the left knee across the body to the right. And then taking the hands to help you with the twist to head it backwards. So right hand goes to the top part of the rib cage. We're going to pull that to the right, and the left hand goes to the hip, and I'm going to pull the hip to the left. And then release and come back to center. Draw both knees in. Now we're going to rock and roll to a seated position. I'm going to turn Sukhasana. Make sure you pay attention to the low back in this shape. If you're feeling like you're gripping and rounding, or the legs are up nice and high, bring something underneath your hips. A sofa cushion, a blanket, a towel. If you have yoga blocks, you can sit up on those too. Inhale, bring your arms up. On an exhale, we're going to drop the right arm and then reach over with the left. Now hold this. Send your left sit bone down as you reach up and over with the left arm. Breathe into the left ribs. And on your next inhale, cartwheel those arms overhead. Exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Right hand goes to the left knee. Left hand goes behind you. Sit tall on an inhale, and as you exhale, twist. And then inhale, face forward, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, the hands home to the heart. Flip the fingers, reach up. And exhale, the hands back home to the heart. Let's do the second side. Inhale up. Exhale, fold over to the left. Send the right sit bone down. Right arm reaches up and over. Breathe into the right ribs. On your next inhale, lift up and take that twist. First set the hands, then the inhale brings length to the spine. The exhale takes you into the twist. And inhale, face forward, bring the hands home to the heart. Flip the palms, reach up, bend the elbows, and don't let the fingers, it's like a Chinese finger trap. So you're not going to let the fingers pull apart, even though you're trying to make that happen by pulling. And we'll circle through the shoulders. And reverse the direction. And then bring the hands home to the heart. All right, let's flow with our side bend and our twist. Switch the cross of your legs. Inhale up. Exhale, fold to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, face forward, arms overhead. Exhale, the hands home to the heart. Let's do a palm flip. And exhale, the hands back home to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, take the twist to the right. Inhale, forward. Exhale, hands to heart. Flip the palms, reach. Maybe some circles through the shoulders. Going one way. And then the other. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Let's do one more each side. Let's switch the cross of the legs again. Inhale up. This time we'll start to the left. And maybe this time you can reach out there and come to the forearm. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale forward. Exhale, hands home to the heart. Flip the palms and reach. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Maybe you come towards the forearm. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, forward and up. Bring the hands home to the heart. This time, let's push the hands out in front of us. Round through the back. Inhale, the arms overhead. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Let's do two more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, back bend here. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Let's roll over the knees and come to table. Hands and knees. Let's go through some slow cat-cow, trying to move each vertebrae independently. So one at a time, we're going to come into cow. So nice sway back, one at a time, one vertebrae at a time. And exhale, starting with the tailbone, coming into cow, one vertebrae at a time. Let's do one more of these each way. Try to start with the tailbone and end with the head. And the head wants to get involved right away. Try to be patient with that. And coming back to neutral, bring your big toes together, walk your knees wide. We're going to come to a wide child's pose. I'm going to come this way. And turn the head to one side and take your fists, and my fists are hollow, so it's like an okay sign with all the fingers curled. I'm going to tap into the low back. You can also bring the forehead down too if you want. And then do some circling back there with the warm hand. And then press your way back to table. Tuck the toes. Let's find down dog. Let's do some wiggling in down dog. So pedal. And wag the tail. And shift around. Find all the muscles that you can to give a nice stretch to. Now settle into stillness. Feet are hip distance apart. Bend your knees a lot. Lay your belly on your thighs. And then as you inhale, send your sit bones straight up as you reach the heels down towards the mat. Now walk your feet wide, left and right edges of the mat, and step your feet forward approximately the length of one of your feet. So each foot steps forward about that length. I'm going to take my left hand right under my nose, take my right arm behind my left. This is kind of like threading the needle, but in a standing position. I'm going to take the right hand and reach over there to the left shin. Now take the shin and twist this as you straighten or work to straighten the legs. Get a nice hamstring stretch. And then unwind, and we'll take the second side. Now the right hand is under the nose. Left arm out, reach under the right. Take the right shin. When I get into twists and try to mirror, it's hard. I'm going to pull and twist.
And at the same time, straighten the legs, or at least head in that direction. And unwind. Now bend your knees a lot. Walk your hands towards your feet. My knees are still bent a lot. I'm going to take opposite elbows and hang. Shake your head, yes. And shake your head, no. Now you can circle through those elbows, maybe a figure 8. Let's move. Now wrap the hands behind the calf muscles, and as you inhale, lift the sit bones, drop the head. And as you exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, lift the sit bones. Exhale, drop the hips. 2 more, inhale, lift. Exhale. 1 more, inhale, lift. And exhale. Now pull your feet away from each other.
Swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. And keeping the feet wide, inhale. We're going to pull the left wrist up and swing over to the right. So side bend. Inhale back to center. Grab the other wrist. Exhale. Fold over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale the hands to the low back. Fingers point down. And as you inhale, pull those shoulders back. Pull the elbows back towards each other. Reach through the crown of the head and come into a nice smooth back bend. Shoulders are out of ears. Crown of the head is reaching even though we're dropping the head back. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, swing the arms overhead. Exhale the hands home to the heart. Now let's walk to the top of the mat. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Okay, that might work. All right. Our first flow. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Lift. Halfway. On an exhale, step back with the right foot. Now look at the feet. Make sure they're on railroad tracks. Drop that back knee. On an inhale, lift. Take your hands to heart. We're going to draw the front hip back and the back hip forward. And keeping that, let's sink forward and down. And back up. Inhale. And exhale, getting a nice stretch here through the hip flexors. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're not quite done here. I want you to take your hands to your hips. And remember when we were on our back, we tipped the pelvis forward. And then we flattened the back, so it's like tucking the tailbone. Do that here. And then find a place right in the center where the pelvis is balanced. And let's do 2 more, keeping that shape. It's easy to get a really exaggerated anterior tilt in this one. And if you keep the neutrality of the pelvis, you'll get a deeper stretch in the psoas. Let's do 1 more. And then exhale, bring the knee back to table. Now we're going to come to the belly and slide the hands right by the armpits, elbows up. And let's do a rolling baby cobra. So inhale, rise up. But think long spine, telescope the spine as you come up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Press into table. Tuck the toes. Lift up into downward facing dog. Now let's take the right leg back and up. Drop your heel to your bottom and stack your hips. Don't let the shoulders stack. Now you can bend the left knee a bit and then work to straighten it. Getting a nice hamstring stretch here.
And then unstack the hips, step forward with the right foot. Help it out if you need to, bringing it between the hands. And again, feet are on railroad tracks. Drop that back knee. Inhale, rise up. Bring your hands to heart. Press the heel of the hands together and lift the elbows. Think long spine, shoulders drop out of ears. As you inhale, lightness in the chest. As you exhale, we'll twist this. Taking the left elbow to the right knee. Push the top hand into the bottom. Turn the heart to the right. And breathe. Two more breaths in this nice twist. And as you exhale, unwind, bring the fingertips to the mat. Come onto the ball of the foot in the back. Lift the knees, step forward, arrive on an inhale. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Pull the feet away from each other. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Second side, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back with the left foot. Drop the knee. Now take your hands to your hips. And remember that forward, that anterior to the front tip of the pelvis. Do that. So you stick your butt out. And now do the opposite. Tuck your tailbone. This really flattens your back. And then come to neutral. That place where you're right in the center. Bring your hands to heart. Keep that. As you inhale, shift forward and down. And as you exhale, back up. Let's do 4 more. Two more for me. Back to neutral. Hands find the mat, find table, find your belly. And this time we're going to lift up into a baby cobra and bend your right knee. I think you can see it. The heel, I'm bringing the heel towards the back of my head as I lift. And down. Second side. Lift and down. And this time you have the option of bringing both feet up. And we're going to hold. Long spine. Think of that spine. So we're in a nice back bend and it's easy to just collapse in the back. Think about lengthening and giving space between each of the vertebrae, like a willow branch. And then exhale, bring the forehead down, press into table, tuck the toes, lift into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg back and up. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Unstack the arms. The arms want to twist. Don't let that happen. Now bend the right knee and then work to straighten it. And breathe. Unstack the hips, step forward. Help your foot out if you need to. And make sure you're on railroad tracks. Drop that back knee. On an inhale, rise up. Hands to heart. Push the hands together, especially the heel of the hands. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll twist this one. Pushing top hand into bottom. You can also make a fist with the bottom hand and push down that way. Three more breaths. Now unwind. Back to table. Find out wide child's pose again. And let's tap the low back, making those hollow fists. And then rub the back. And then find stillness. Just relax in a wide child's pose. Take about 4 more breaths there.
pressing back into table, tuck the toes,
downward facing dog, and let's step to the top of the mat. Arriving on an inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Pull the feet away from each other. Inhale the arms up and exhale the hands to the heart. Now step the feet wide again to the left and right edges of the mat and come into that high squat. And then maybe externally rotate the feet a little. And maybe you want to come all the way down into Malasana Garland. And I like to kind of wiggle around here. Let's see if I can bring the soles of my feet flat on the mat. And if you can't do that, tucking a towel under the heels is helpful. Now bring your hands to heart. I want you to take your left shoulder and drop it down there by your left knee. Now extend the left arm out. Take the right hand to the right knee. Push down. We'll take a little twist here. And back to center. Now really drop the right armpit down towards the knee. Reach out with the right hand. Take the left hand to the knee and twist. And now both armpits are way down there. It kind of helps sometimes to reach out wide. And then take the hands to heart. Push the upper arms into the knees and resist with the knees, and then really push the hands together. Lengthen through the spine. Feel all that space. And breathe. Three more breaths. Bring the hands to the floor, and we're going to lift the sit bones straight up, heel toe the feet right back underneath the hips. Step back with the right leg. Step back with the left leg. Come to down dog. Now lift the right leg back and up. Drop the heel to the bottom. Stack the hips, unstack the shoulders. And then step forward with the right foot. Now we're going to keep that back knee lifted. We're still in a lunge, so make sure the feet are hip distance apart. And rise up. And remember the pelvis. We can tip it forward. We can work to flatten, or what I want you to do is come to neutral. I started to say, or we could come to neutral. I want you to come to neutral. Drawing the front hip back hip forward. As you exhale, you can sink downward. Get a nice stretch here in the hip flexors. Now inhale your arms overhead. The arms are up by the ears. And then we're going to exhale the arms forward. Take your left arm and reach forward. Drop the right arm. We're going to twist this to the right. Boy, the sunshine's pretty out there. And breathe. Think about the pelvis. Now drop that back hand and reach up with the front hand. So it's like peaceful warrior. Only it's a twisted lunge. And then cartwheel that arm forward. And bring the hands to heart. Straighten the front leg. And we're going to work to come to Prasarada. I'm stumbling over my words. Pinky toe edges of the feet are parallel with the short edges of the mat. Now bend your legs a lot. Pull the feet away from each other as you work to straighten them. Crown of the head hangs. And in this shape, let's shake the head, yes. And shake the head, no. And we'll do heart like a wheel. This is really similar to what we did in that wide down dog. I want you to take your left hand right under your nose. Thread the needle with the right, reaching behind the left. Reach over for the left shin. And then pull. And bring this into a twist. And unwind, second side, right hand under the nose, left arm out. Threading behind the right, reach for the shin. Pull to twist. And unwind. Walk to the top of the mat. Downward facing dog. This time the left leg goes up. Drop the heels, stack the hips, reach down with the right heel, unstack the shoulders, and then step forward. Railroad tracks again. Round the ball of the foot in the back. On an inhale, rise up.
Neutralize the pelvis. Bend that back knee and sink down a little bit. And then straighten. A nice stretch in the hip flexors. Bring the hands to heart. Bring the hands up by the ears. Bring the arms forward. Keep that left arm moving down and back as you turn to the left. Breathe. Now swing that arm forward. Fold forward, hands to the inside of the front foot, and we're going to walk to the right edge. And now we're in Prasarita this way. Make sure the feet are lined up. Bend your knees a lot, and then walk your hands in line with the feet. Elbows are bending so they point right underneath you. Crown of the head hangs. Now lift your sit bones straight up. And straighten the legs. You can even reach out for your big toes or the sides of your feet. Give yourself a little pull here. Bring the arms forward, and we're going to walk the hands to the top of the mat, step back, drop the knees, come to the belly, and let's find Sphinx. So elbows are underneath armpits, fingers are spread wide. Push into the elbows, and then pull the hands towards you. Feel that telescope, especially the low back. You get a lot more space in the low back. Then push into the elbows again. And I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm going to bring my right knee out. I think I'll turn. So I'm in Sphinx. I'm going to bring the right knee out. Now push into the elbows again. I don't know where my coffee table is back there. And then I'm going to bend the other knee. There's a lot to focus on here. You're focusing on the back bend, the forearms, and bringing that heel towards your bottom, getting a stretch in the quadriceps in the front, and then opening through the hip on the other leg. And then everything releases, soften. Now we'll take the other side. So the other knee comes out. And then bend and draw the heel up towards the bottom. And notice differences from one side to the other. And then exhale down. We'll find crocodile pose now. I'm going to crawl around and face you this way. Separate the legs, left and right edges of the mat. And cross your forearms and bring your head down. Bend the knees and let's windshield wiper the shins. Releasing the low back. Make sure you bring the hips along for this. And then release the shins down. Take a few breaths here to rest. Let it go. And press back to table. Cross the ankles and sit back over your heels. Extend both legs out long. Dandasana. Bend the right knee and bring the foot up nice and close to the bottom. Sit up like you want to stand on the right foot. And then open the knee. We're going to cross the ankle past the thigh. Hands behind you. Slide the left foot up, coming into a seated number 4. Make sure you have space behind you. So in the seated number 4, you have control over how deep or how shallow you take this stretch. And maybe you can reach in front of your shin and pull on the shin, kind of balance on the sit bones. And then maybe you rock along the spine and recline into a supine number 4 stretch. Now lace the fingers behind the knee and see if you can rock up to a seated position in this shape. I will switch sides. Extend the legs long. Bend the left knee. And shift forward like you want to stand on the left foot. Open the knee. Take the ankle past the thigh. Hands behind you. Slide the right foot to the mat. And maybe this is it. Or maybe you reach in front of the shin. Lace your fingers. And come right up on those sit bones. Maybe even try to balance. And then let it go. Down the spine, to the back. Lace the fingers behind the knee. And come back up to a seated position. And unwind. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And rock a little from sit bone to sit bone. And sit tall. Just focusing on a nice neutral spine. Again, that pelvis. Is it tilted too far forward? Is your low back rounded? Try to come to neutral. So you're balanced right on the sit bones. Shoulders are heavy, elbows heavy, crown of the head's very light. And breathe. I'm going to turn again. Let's come to the back. Back to knees bent, knees and feet hip distance apart. Pausing here. Hands come right next to the hips. Tuck the shoulders again. Feel the soles of the feet and feel the palms of the hands. And scoot those heels back towards your bottom. And maybe you can reach out and touch your heels with your fingertips. We'll do a couple nice lazy bridge poses. As you inhale, I want you to lift your hips, press into the hands, press into the feet, reach the knees away from you, keep the thighs reaching towards one another. And as you exhale, come back down, but reach with the tailbone. And you'll land kind of in a flat low back. 2 more, inhale, lift. Lift the back of the head, tuck the chin, and then lay the back of the head down. You bring some more length to the cervical spine. And then reaching with the tailbone, come back down. 1 more. Inhale, lift. And exhale back down. Pause here in a neutral spine. Just land, relax. And then draw the knees in. Walk the legs long. Now take your hands behind your head, lace your fingers. Cradle the back of the head as you lift the head. We're going to turn the nose towards the right and then turn the nose towards the left. Kind of skimming your chin across your chest. We'll go 1 more each way. And then release the head back down and find your way to your pose for Shavasana to relax for a few moments here. If you're in corpse pose with me, the legs are wide. Let the feet roll out to the sides. Arms are wide too. And lift and tuck the shoulder blades again. Open through the front chest. And breathe. And notice how your low back lands. Is there a little lift there? If there's not, bring just a gentle lift to the low back. And once again, allow the breath to come in through the nose, travel behind the heart, along the length of the spine, clear to the tailbone. And watch the breath take that same path out of the body. And start to move fingers and toes. Deepen your breath a bit. Expand the movement into wrists, ankles, elbows, and knees, hips and shoulders, neck. Just start moving. And stretch long again, flip the palms. Maybe you tick-tock the hips a little. And find your way to your right side. Rest your head on your arm. Boy, the light's really changing now that we're getting into winter in the room. Nice sunshine out there. As you're ready to sit up, reach long with the top leg and press yourself back to a seated position. Have the overhead light on, but there's still a lot of shadows because of the sun coming in. I'm not complaining, I like the sun. Let's inhale, reach up. And exhale, draw some of that sunshine home to your heart. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. The dog was pretty sleepy through this one. Have a good Monday. I'll see you Friday.